Like and subscribe for daily updates.
Who was each nation's MVP of the Olympics? It was arguably the best basketball tournament of all time. Who were the best players of the best tournament then? We've seen some incredible games and performances at the Paris 2024 Olympics. With this competition format, introduced in 2020, all 12 teams had something to fight for, giving us even more competitive games throughout the whole tournament, not just the medal round. After all is said and done, it's time to look back at the most valuable players for each national team at the Olympics. Puerto Rico. For the first time in 20 years, Puerto Rico made it back to this scene, and Jose Alvarado played his heart out in his first summer with the national team. The point guard had 15.3 points in 23.7 minutes per game in Lille, all while fighting off a troubling ankle injury he sustained in the first half of the first game of his first Olympics. Alvarado is 26, and surely hoping he would be back in LA in 2028. Until then, it's time for the entire team to use the 2024 experience as a lesson, learn, improve, and fight for the quarterfinals, or more, once again. Japan. Another 23-year-old on the list, Yuki Kawamura took over when Rue Hakamura was first ejected in the game against France, then left the Olympics with an injury. Kawamura earned plenty of fans all over the world with his performances, and with 20.3 points per game, he finished as the fourth best scorer of the Olympics. Spain. The run of the golden generation has been prolonged for so long, but now that most of the giants of Spanish basketball, such as Pau and Marc Gasol, Felipe Reyes, Juan Carlos Navarro, Sergio Rodriguez, and Rudy Fernandez are all retired, it's time for the guys born after 2000 to take over. Santi Aldama's campaign at the Paris 2024 Olympics makes them believe the transition will be painless. He's 23 now, but already a leader of the team, averaging 17.7 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks, while hitting 45% of his threes on 7 attempts per game. The numbers could have been even better, but coach Sergio Scariolo mentioned he wasn't physically at 100% in the game against Canada. Before that, he made 9 of 16 from deep. South Sudan. His triple-double against the United States in the exhibition game just before the Olympics made all the other teams that much more careful in guarding him. However, Carlik Jones was still able to lead the way for South Sudan. Playing at their first Olympics, they turned to him to run the offense. The 26-year-old had 18.0 points, 7.7 assists, and 5.0 rebounds per game, despite struggling with his outside shooting, which is usually his strength. Greece. Probably the easiest selection of them all. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the tournament in scoring with 25.8 points per game, the most by any players in this millennium at the Olympics, just edging out Ricky Rubio's 25.5 points in 2020 and Bojan Bogdanovic's 25.3 from 2016. Giannis also had 6.3 rebounds and 3.5 assists per game, all done while shooting 67.8% from the field. At 26.5, he was second in efficiency rating per game, trailing only Nikola Jokic's mark of 31.0. Brazil. Imagine scoring a total of 6 points in the first 2 games at the Olympics and still ending up as your nation's MVP, easily. That's Bruno Caboclo for you. Everybody knew the main issue with the Brazilian center, and his endless wingspan was staying on the floor. He struggled with foul trouble against Germany and France, but then went off for 33 points and 17 rebounds against Japan to reach the quarterfinals, and he had another 30-point performance there against the United States. The 28-year-old finished the Olympics with 17.3 points and 7.0 rebounds per game for Brazil. Australia. A lot of fans of the Boomers wondered what the team would look like one day when Joe Ingles and Patty Mills are no longer a part of it. Well, despite being heartbroken after letting a 24-point lead slip out of their hands against Serbia, they now know they have plenty of young guys who could carry the team in the next decade or so. The best one among them? Josh Giddey, easily. A true point forward, he had 17.5 points, made 47.4% of his threes on 5 attempts per game, with 7.8 rebounds and 6.0 assists. He's turning 22 in October, so this is just the start of a long journey for Josh and the Boomers. Canada. The medal round was so exciting. It's easy to forget that Canada had a 3-1 record at the Olympics and one of the potential MVPs of the whole thing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 21.0 points, 4.3 rebounds, 4.0 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game in 2024, earning his spot on the All-Star 5-second team. But if Canada made it through the quarterfinals, the MVP race would have been way different with SGA in the mix. Germany. This is where things get interesting. For Germany, Franz Wagner was the leading scorer, and he seems to be growing in confidence with each summer, so you could make a case that he was the German MVP of the Olympics. But then again, he's not yet, because Dennis Schroeder has once again put the team on his shoulders and guided them towards another semifinal, getting 17.2 points, shooting 39.1% from deep on nearly 8 attempts per game, with 7.5 assists also in there. In other words, maybe Germany would make it to the Final Four without Franz's big scoring games. But they wouldn't have been there without Schroeder's leadership on both ends of the floor. Serbia. You probably saw how happy he was playing with the national team and winning another Olympic medal. Back in 2016, he was just a youngster coming off the bench, but in 2024, Nikola Jokic was a superstar. The big guy put up 18.8 points, 10.7 rebounds, 8.7 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1.0 blocks per game, making the MVP of the Olympics process a discussion, as some thought he is a legit contender to win it over LeBron and Wemby. Maybe he was. But guess what? Nikola doesn't care about that. He just wants to have fun out there, make his teammates better, and win a new piece of silverware. Individual accomplishments aren't that high on his wish list. France. At 20 years of age, he was under so much pressure, not just as the next big thing of international basketball, but also as the superhero who would guide the hosts back to the podium. And at 20 years of age, he delivered. Victor Wembanyama was simply outstanding, getting 15.8 points, 9.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 2.0 steals, and 1.7 blocks per game, including an unbelievable final with 26 points against the United States. We always knew the future would belong to him, but he's changing our minds, because it seems that future is now. United States. No surprises here. If he's the MVP of the whole competition, he's also his nation's MVP. LeBron James dominated in France, reaching double digits in all 6 games and finishing with 14.2 points, 8.5 assists, and 6.8 rebounds per game. Even though he is about to turn 40 later this year, James picked up his 3rd gold medal at the Olympics, with another bronze to his name from exactly 20 years ago.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for daily updates.